The massive stage lights of the America's Got Talent auditorium blaze down like 1,000 suns, casting a warm, golden glow across the polished floor that reflects every nervous step. The audience, 1,000 strong, fills the tiered seats in a sea of anticipation, their murmurs creating a low hum that vibrates through the air. Backstage curtains part, and out walks a young Filipino contestant, his posture straight yet betraying the slightest tremble in his hands as he clutches the microphone handed to him by a stagehand. He is dressed simply, a crisp white shirt tucked into dark jeans, sleeves rolled up just enough to show the quiet confidence of someone who has practiced this moment in front of mirrors and small crowds back home. His dark hair is neatly styled, and his face carries the fresh openness of youth, eyes wide with a mix of excitement and fear that anyone who has ever dreamed big can recognize instantly. As he reaches center stage, the four judges, Simon Cowell at the far end with his trademark skeptical arch of the eyebrow, Howie Mandel leaning back casually, Heidi Klum smiling encouragingly, and Sofia Vergara radiating warmth, turn their full attention to him. The host steps aside after a quick introduction, leaving the contestant alone under the spotlight. He takes a deep breath, the kind that fills the lungs completely, steadying the heart that must be pounding like a drum inside his chest. The audience quiets almost instinctively, sensing the vulnerability in this moment. He smiles humbly, a genuine curve of the lips that reaches his eyes, dimming the nerves just enough to let his natural charm shine through. "Hello, everyone," he begins, his voice soft but clear, carrying a gentle Filipino accent that adds an endearing lilt to his English. "My name is," contestant's name, "and I'm from the Philippines." A ripple of applause breaks out, warm and welcoming, as flags from proud Filipino fans wave in the crowd. He nods gratefully, waiting for the cheers to settle. "Music has always been my escape, my way of expressing everything I feel inside. Growing up, I listened to so many artists, but one who really touched my heart is Bruno Mars. His voice, his emotion, it's everything I aspire to." The judges nod, Simon's expression still guarded but attentive, while Heidi tilts her head with interest. He continues, his words measured and sincere. "Today, I want to sing one of his songs for you. It's When I Was Your Man." The piano player off stage begins a soft introduction, the familiar melancholy chords floating through the vast space, instantly recognizable to nearly everyone in the room. The contestant closes his eyes for a brief second, centering himself, then opens them again as he lifts the microphone closer. The first notes leave his lips a cappella at first, pure and unadorned, same bed, but it feels just a little bit bigger now. His voice is smooth, velvety, wrapping around each syllable with impeccable control. There is no strain, no forcing, just effortless clarity that cuts through the silence like a blade of light. From the very first phrase, something magical happens. His tone mirrors Bruno Mars' signature warmth, that silky R&B inflection, but layered with a personal depth that feels uniquely his own. The pitch is flawless, every note landing exactly where it should, without the slightest waver. As he moves into the verse, "Our song on the radio, but it don't sound the same," he adds subtle nuances, a gentle vibrato on the sustained words, a breathy catch that conveys heartache without overacting. The audience leans forward collectively, drawn in by the purity of it. A few people in the front rows exchange glances, eyebrows raised in quiet surprise. The judges react subtly at first. Simon, known for his blunt honesty, sits up a fraction straighter, his arms uncrossing as he focuses intently. Howie's usual playful grin fades into genuine listening, his head nodding almost imperceptibly to the rhythm. Heidi's smile widens, her eyes sparkling with delight as she recognizes the skill unfolding before them. Sophia places a hand over her heart, already swayed by the emotional pull. The contestant sways gently with the music, not dramatically, but enough to show he is fully immersed, living every lyric as if the regret and longing are his own. He transitions seamlessly into the pre-chorus, his voice building in intensity yet remaining controlled. "When our friends talk about you, all it does is just tear me down." Here, he introduces the first hint of falsetto, light and airy, floating above the piano accompaniment that has now fully joined in. It is pristine, no cracks or breaks, just a seamless glide into the higher register that Bruno Mars himself is famous for. But there is something more. His falsetto carries an extra layer of emotion, a raw vulnerability that makes the notes linger in the air longer, touching deeper. Gasps begin to ripple through the audience. A woman in the balcony covers her mouth in awe. As the verse returns, he opens his eyes wider, connecting directly with the crowd, his gaze sweeping across the judges and into the seats beyond. His free hand gestures softly, palm open as if offering the words to everyone listening. The humility from his introduction shines through in his performance. No showy runs yet, just faithful rendition elevated by superior vocal technique. His breathing is masterful, supporting each phrase without audible gasps, allowing the melody to flow uninterrupted. The auditorium, so vast and intimidating moments ago, now feels intimate, as if he is singing to each person individually. By the time he approaches the chorus build-up, the energy in the room has shifted palpably. The initial polite attention has transformed into captivated silence, broken only by the occasional murmur of approval. His voice gains a touch more power, still smooth but now filling the space completely. I should have bought you flowers and held your hand. The high notes arrive effortlessly, soaring with a brightness and precision that commands respect. He holds them just a beat longer than expected, adding his own subtle embellishments, delicate melodic turns that enhance rather than overshadow the original. The judges' expressions evolve further. Simon's eyebrow, once arched in doubt, now furrows in concentration, a rare sign of being impressed early on. Heidi leans forward, elbows on the desk, utterly engrossed. Howie's eyes widen slightly with each flawless transition. Sophia sways gently, mouthing some of the lyrics herself. The contestant remains grounded, feet planted firmly, but his face reflects the passion building inside, eyes half closed again, brows knitting in feigned sorrow that feels achingly real. He pours more of himself into the delivery, the Filipino sensibility of deep emotional resonance evident in every inflection. Where some covers might mimic surface style, his interpretation delves deeper, infusing the song with a heartfelt sincerity that transcends imitation. The piano swells beneath him, but it is his voice that dominates, crystal clear through the state-of-the-art sound system, reaching the back rows with the same intimacy as the front. Audience members begin to nod along, some closing their eyes to absorb the beauty fully. As this opening section draws toward the first chorus, the anticipation peaks. His control over dynamics is exquisite, soft and tender in the vulnerable moments, swelling with restrained power where the emotion demands it. There is no rushing, no over-singing, every choice serves the story of the song. The nerves that were visible when he first stepped out have vanished entirely, replaced by the quiet assurance of an artist in his element. The audience senses it too, their bodies lean in, breaths held collectively, waiting for the release of the chorus that they know is coming. In these opening minutes, he has already laid the foundation for something extraordinary. His voice, so reminiscent of Bruno Mars yet distinctly refined, has begun to weave its spell. The humility in his introduction now contrasts beautifully with the commanding presence of his singing, creating a compelling narrative of an underdog rising to the occasion. The judges watch with growing intrigue, the audience with mounting excitement, all of them beginning to realize that this is not just another cover, this is a performance that demands to be remembered. The spotlight bathes him in its glow, and for these extended moments of the audition's beginning, he owns the stage completely, setting the tone for the jaw-dropping climax that is yet to unfold. As the song surges toward its emotional peak, the young Filipino contestant's voice rises with it, carrying the weight of every lyric into the vast auditorium like a wave crashing against the shore. The piano accompaniment intensifies, chords striking deeper and more resonant, mirroring the building regret in the words he sings. He closes his eyes fully now, surrendering completely to the music, his face a canvas of raw passion, brows furrowed, lips trembling slightly on the sustained notes, as if the heartache of "When I Was Your Man" is drawn from some personal well deep within him. His body moves with subtle intensity, shoulders swaying, one hand clutching the microphone stand for support while the other reaches out expressively, fingers spreading wide as though grasping at lost memories. The chorus erupts from him with breathtaking power: my pride, my ego, my needs, and my selfish ways. Each phrase is delivered with a richness that fills every corner of the massive space, his tone warm and velvety yet edged with a piercing clarity that cuts straight to the heart. Where the original carries Bruno Mars' effortless cool, this rendition infuses an extra layer of soulful vulnerability, the Filipino performer's natural emotional depth shining through in the way he bends notes with delicate runs, subtle, tasteful flourishes that add freshness without overpowering the melody. His falsetto soars higher and purer, holding the "goos" longer, letting them linger in the air like echoes of unspoken apologies, evoking chills that ripple through the crowd. The audience, already captivated from the opening verses, begins to stir visibly. Scattered cheers break out mid-phrase, a man's voice shouting, "Yes," from the side sections, quickly joined by whistles and applause that swell like a tide. People in the lower tiers stand first, one by one, then in waves, entire rows rising to their feet, phones held high to capture the moment, faces illuminated by the stage lights reflecting awe and disbelief. The energy shifts palpably. What started as polite attention has transformed into electric fervor, the thousands in attendance united in their recognition of something extraordinary unfolding before them. Claps sync with the beat, feet tap against the floor, and soon the entire auditorium vibrates with spontaneous mid-performance ovation, a rare occurrence that speaks volumes about the impact of his delivery. On the judges' panel, reactions unfold in real time, each face telling its own story of surprise and admiration. Simon Cowell, ever the stoic critic, leans forward sharply, his usual reserved posture giving way to wide-eyed focus, mouth slightly agape as he processes the vocal mastery. His hands, typically crossed defensively, now rest flat on the desk, fingers drumming lightly in involuntary rhythm. Heidi Klum's eyes glisten with emotion, her hand pressed to her chest as she nods vigorously, a broad smile breaking across her features with each flawless high note. Howie Mandel, known for his humor, sits transfixed, his playful demeanor replaced by genuine reverence, head tilting as he absorbs the nuances that elevate this beyond mere imitation. Sofia Vergara sways in her seat, eyes closed briefly as if lost in the music herself, then opening to beam with pride, her expressive gestures emphasizing her delight. As the bridge approaches, too young, too dumb to realize, the contestant pours even more intensity into his performance, voice cracking ever so slightly with controlled emotion, not from strain but from the depth of feeling he channels. His gestures grow more passionate, free hands sweeping through the air, body leaning into the microphone as if confessing directly to the audience. The power builds layer by layer, dynamics shifting from tender introspection to soaring declaration, his breath control impeccable, supporting belts that resonate with fullness and precision. He adds personal embellishments here, intricate melodic turns on, "should have gave you all my hours," extending phrases with a warmth that feels intimately Filipino, rooted in that cultural gift for heartfelt expression that turns songs into stories. The crowd's response intensifies, cheers grow louder, interrupting the flow yet fueling it further, the performer feeding off the energy with a subtle smile breaking through his immersed expression. Flags wave more frantically in the upper balconies, Filipino supporters standing tallest, their pride palpable in the air. The standing ovation spreads like wildfire, now encompassing nearly the entire audience, applause thundering against the rafters, drowning out moments of the piano only to surge back in appreciation. Tears are visible on some faces, strangers turning to each other with nods of shared amazement, the atmosphere charged with that rare magic when a talent show moment transcends entertainment into something profoundly moving. He hits the final chorus with everything he has, voice swelling to its fullest volume yet remaining beautifully controlled, "Do all of the things I should have done when I was your man." The high notes peak effortlessly, ringing clear and true, infused with a tonal quality that many will later describe as superior, smoother transitions, deeper resonance, more evocative runs that honor the original while stamping it with his own indelible mark. His eyes remain shut, head tilting back slightly as the last notes pour out, body fully committed, every muscle engaged in the delivery of pure, unfiltered emotion. The judges mirror the audience's escalation. Simon's expression shifts from intrigue to outright shock, leaning even closer, a rare grin tugging at his lips. Heidi claps enthusiastically even before the end, her excitement uncontainable. Howie raises his hands in applause mid-song, shaking his head in wonder. Sophia stands partially, gesturing animatedly, her warmth radiating across the stage. The buzzer panel glows with anticipation, the air thick with the knowledge that this performance has shattered expectations. In these climactic moments, the Filipino sensation commands the stage utterly, his voice not just echoing Bruno Mars but transcending it through sheer vocal superiority and emotional authenticity. The auditorium pulses with life, every soul present caught in the spell of his artistry, the cheers and ovations building to a crescendo that matches the song's own, creating an unforgettable symphony of sound and sentiment that reverberates long after the final note approaches.